Have you ever experienced something so extraordinary, so perfectly timed that it defies all logical explanation? Moments where lives intersect in ways that seem impossible, where challenges are overcome by the most unlikely solutions. Then you have felt the hand of God at work. I'm Brent, and this is You Can't Make This Up, a podcast dedicated to showcasing the amazing things God is doing in the lives of ordinary people. We'll hear stories of divine connections, miraculous interventions, and blessings that leave you speechless. Join us as we celebrate faith, hope, and the power of God who moves in mysterious, wonderful ways. Welcome to episode 6. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the time that our tools were stolen from our mission team. Let me back up the story. Probably, I don't know. I need to back it up to about 2020. I think is when we got our hands on this trailer. So at our local Baptist Association, the Lawrence Baptist Association, I had a trailer that was stocked full of tools that was out at the association's office, and they realized that we were going every weekend doing some sort of service project for someone, and through that and us making some phone calls to them, it turned out that we were able to just take possession of the trailer. Still belongs to the association, but we keep it with us at all times, and the trailer goes everywhere we go. It's fully stocked with tools, some supplies. That when we roll up on a mission project, we've got everything we need. It's all a self-contained unit, and we've been working out of that trailer, gosh, maybe close to 5 years. It could be longer than that. I don't remember exactly when we got it, but that doesn't matter. The part that that matters is how God has blessed not only us with being able to have that tool trailer, but others that we've come in contact with. So let's fast forward to about early March of 2024, and this happened on a Sunday afternoon. I show up at the church, and the first thing I notice when I pull up is that the side door of the trailer was open. So that was alarm number one, because we keep the doors locked on it. So I go up there and I look in the side door, and I notice several things missing. Right off, I noticed our entire Milwaukee kit was gone. Our steel chainsaw was gone, and those tools all together probably equaled a sum total of $4,000 to $5,000. And we were leaving to go to Dayton, Ohio, like that first week of April. So here we are with a tool trailer, and now our primary tools are gone. So we called, filed a police report, done all that initial stuff that you do. But at the end of the day, how are you going to track down a Milwaukee tool? Everybody and their brother has one. It's just nearly impossible. The chainsaw we didn't recover it, but we did recover the serial number, and it got put into the database. So if it ever shows up at a pawn shop, we might get it back there. But nevertheless, stuff was gone. So initially, when that happens, what's the first thing that goes through your mind is you're upset. You're wanting to find who did this and just really give them a piece of your mind. Well, we never found that person or persons. We had an idea who they were, but nothing ever transpired. So time rocks on, and I had struggled with, do I Do I make a post on social media that our tools got stolen? Do I just stay quiet about it? What do I do? And I struggle with that back and forth, back and forth. What do I do? What do I do? And finally, like, I don't know, the Sunday before the week we were leaving, I just put a post out there. Hey, our tools have been stolen. Keep an eye out. Lock your stuff up. Yada, yada, yada. And Monday, I get this text message in my phone, and it's from Celine Arif. She's one of the journalists or the reporters with 13 WMAZ out of Macon. Oh man, she has become a great friend and advocate for what we do. So she sends this message, says, hey, I saw your story on Facebook. I was wondering if you would reach out to me. Would like to talk to you. So I call her, and she wants to do an interview. So we set up an interview for Thursday before we leave that Saturday. All right, so Thursday's the interview. We got Friday and then Saturday. So the interview's on Thursday at 11 o'clock. Myself is there, Ox is there, Miss Paula Cameron. Celine gets it all set up. She interviews Paula, she interviews Ox. I remain behind the scenes. I felt like they needed to be the ones to do the speaking. And it aired that night at 6 o'clock. And wow, at what God did. What he did. We go that Thursday night and we speak with a local church. Excuse me. We speak with the local church about missions and how they can get involved. We were talking to them about what we do in Baxley, what we do in Dayton, Ohio, and other things going on in our local community. And at the end of what we were talking about, one of the men said, hey, was y'all robbed? I'm like, yeah, our tools were stolen off our trailer and we leave for Dayton, Ohio on Saturday. It's like, what you gonna do? I said, I don't know what we're gonna do. I said, this is what I do know. God is gonna provide exactly what we need for our mission in Dayton, Ohio. I just left it at that. So that men's meeting came to an end, and everybody's just standing around kind of chit-chatting, and the pastor of the church come up to me and says, hey, I need to talk to you in my office. So we go to his office, and he calls up this man and puts him on the phone, and turns out it's a business owner. And this business owner says, hey, I understand you had a bunch of tools stolen. I'm a dealer in such and such items. How can we help? I said, well, we need to get our Milwaukee tools replaced. We need to get this steel chainsaw replaced. And, we're just waiting on God to provide. Well, this business owner stepped up in a really, really big way. He's like, hey, I can meet you in the morning and I can for sure provide for you on one of these items. And I'm not going to name the specific item because this business owner didn't want to be named. And I get it. So I'm on my way home from the church that night, and I don't know, I'm about halfway home, get a phone call, and it's the pastor calling me again. He says, hey, can you meet us at Home Depot in the morning at 8 o'clock? Yeah. It's like, well, the business owner you just talked to said he wants to meet you at Home Depot with his credit card so y'all can buy the Milwaukee tools you need. I'm like, really? So we show up at the Home Depot 8 o'clock the next morning. The pastor makes the connection between myself and this business owner, and the pastor leaves and goes home. Well, we purchased the Milwaukee tools, and then we leave and we go pick up one more item, and the base of our tools have been replaced. This is before 9:30 on Friday. So I'm on my way to my house. I'm crossing over the interstate on 441, and I get a phone call from our youth pastor, Ox. He says, hey, go meet Dawn, which is his wife. She's got $750 that you need to pick up and go to Home Depot and buy these particular Milwaukee tools. So I go meet Dawn, I pick up $750, and I go buy more Milwaukee tools. Well, now our kit has been fully replaced, and it's starting to grow. So I leave from Home Depot, I get down to the Chick-fil-A that's real near our Home Depot in Dublin, and get a phone call from Ox again and says, hey, I need you to go back over and meet Dawn again. She's got another $1,000. So I go back to Home Depot, and this time I buy just one or two more Milwaukee tools, but then I buy a bunch of consumable items like saw blades and stuff like that. So now our trailer is fully stocked, ready to go. So we leave on Saturday morning. We get to Dayton, Ohio, and we have a wonderful time at church. Monday we're at work on the projects. Tuesday evening we get a phone call, and this phone call is from an individual that Ox knows. Says, hey, did all your tools get replaced? Ox said, yeah, mostly. There's just a few little consumable items that we need to pick up, but we're in good shape. It's okay, well, I want to contribute something to that. So we're like, all right, that'd be great. It's like, hey, can you meet me tomorrow? Like, well, we're in Dayton. Can we meet you next week? He's like, yeah, just meet me next Tuesday or Wednesday, and I want to give you something. So we make it home from Dayton. That next Wednesday, Ox goes to visit this fella, and I get there, and the guy pulls out of his pocket a folded up check, hands it to Ox, says, here, this is to help with the tools that got stolen. Well, Ox didn't open up the check in front of the person. We never do that. That's, I don't know, to me it's just kind of rude to do something like that. When Ox gets in the truck, he opens up the check and calls me. He says, Broham, you ain't gonna believe this. You know that guy that called me last week said he was wanting to contribute? I said, yeah. He said, well, he contributed. He wrote a check for $10,000. So between all the tools that were replaced and this contribution from this gentleman, we went from losing $4,000 to $5,000 worth of tools to having every one of them replaced abundantly, to the tune of about $15,000. I'm telling you this. I told you all that to tell you this. Whatever measure you use to give to the Lord, He'll use that same measure back on you. So if you give with a half-hearted, if you give because you feel like you're just forced to, I got an idea for you. Just keep whatever it is you got, because the Lord doesn't need that anyway. What He wants you to do is He wants you to give with an open heart, with an open hand, not worrying about where it's going to come from to get back to you. Just give as you've been given to. Give abundantly. Be obedient. In episode 5, that's what I talked about, was being obedient. So that theme's kind of ringing through to this one too. Just be obedient. I guarantee you, God's going to meet every single one of your needs before you can even think about needing them. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. We're out. I hope you have enjoyed this episode of You Can't Make This Up as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. I pray that has encouraged you to look for those God moments, as I like to call them, all around you. Remember, He is moving even when you don't see Him. If you have a God moment story that you would like to share, I would be thrilled to hear from you. You can contact me through Facebook. Look up You Can't Make This Up podcast, or through YouTube, or you can reach out through email, brent.redfern@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks for listening, and until next time, remember that God is good all the time, and you most certainly can't make this up.